So this is what we have done so far for the painting project. We took 4 pieces of paper, we taped them together end to end. Then on the canvas, we folded them so that they stayed on the canvas, filling up the composition, and then trace them. It's really important that when you're tracing, you see which sections are overlapped. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to paint. When you're painting, it's essential that you pre-plan your colors. I have the Roy G. Bliss plus black and white. Here's some pro tips for mixing. When you want to make a light color in your palette, you're going to begin with the color white and then introduce other colors. When you're working with the color black to make something darker, you're going to take the color and add just the tiniest bit of black at a time. That's because black will quickly take over your entire color and really, what's called, make it muddy. Okay? So let's do a quick paint and blend. What I'm going to show you is 2 things. Number 1, how to stay in the lines, and number 2, how to blend 2 different colors. So let's start with something simple. Let's imagine that this ribbon over here is going to be the color yellow. Out of necessity, yellow is a light color and it may require 2 coats of paint, just like many of the other colors may require additional layers of paint. Okay? So as I'm painting in the big section, I can go quickly. As I go to the edge, I'm going to go much slower. There are 2 methods for this operation. Number 1, I like to call this the vacuum or the lawnmower, where you utilize the square end of your brush and you move it in straight lines. The other method is to get your brush halfway filled with paint and then just paint along the straight edge. That takes a little bit more skill and dexterity. All right, so let's talk about blending colors. When we want the ribbon to look like it's overlapped, a color that is overlapped is going to be a bit darker. In order to show the transition of colors, you want to blend the 2 colors. Acrylic paint is plastic based. Acrylic paint dries very quickly, and acrylic paint gives you a very small window of blending. When I use oil paints at home, I can oil paint one day and then blend it a few days later. Oil paints take up to 2 years to cure. That doesn't mean dry, that means cure. By contrast, acrylic paint takes about 5 minutes. So now we have a very harsh difference between these 2 colors. What we're going to do is we're going to blend them with a clean, dry brush. We're going to take a clean, dry brush and we're simply going to blend the 2 colors. We can go back and forth and we can go up and down until we get a smoother transition. You can also go back in with more yellow or more orange, whatever is needed. Okay. Things to remember, this type of paint will dry lumpy. If you have a lump, it will stay for life. Don't let a lump go back into your piece. Acrylic paints must be washed with water off your brush, and you cannot use an acrylic brush when it is wet. You have to completely and thoroughly dry it. You never want to mix a color using the bristles. That's a good way to ruin a brush. Instead, you could either mix it with a popsicle stick or the back of your brush. My acrylic brushes are either red or green, so think Christmas colors. So here's your quick recap. You're going to paint it in, and when you paint your edges, you're going to use that lawnmower method or the vacuuming method, where you get those straight lines. That's essential for this project, those straight lines. When you blend 2 colors, you're going to overlap them and then blend the transition with a clean, dry brush. That's called a dry brushing technique. Once your piece is dry, and if you still want to blend it, you will have to wet the paint to activate it. You have only a few minutes to blend the colors, as acrylic paints dry extremely quickly. Anything that is overlapped is darker. You can use black in tiny amounts, or you can use another color to blend it. Okay.